Hey everybody, Jamie Pate here. Welcome to another video brought to you by What's in My Studio. That's what we're calling this little mini series. I kind of check in once a month with what's going on here in my studio, and I seriously am loving what is happening this month. So let's go. Okay, y'all, I have recently shown on my Instagram feed, well, we all know, if you here are a follower of Heidi Swapp and the Stamp Society subscription program, well, you should be having this sweet stamp set on its way to you. In the meantime, there's been a lot of inspiration on the brand new Instagram account called Heidi Swapp Stamps. If you don't follow, I hope you will. I'm kind of the fingers pushing all the comments behind that account, inspired by Heidi, fed by Heidi and her stamps. Okay, enough about that. So today I felt, because I really am, I just keep reaching for the stamp set. I have made several tags. I have added to a scrapbook page and something that back to my Instagram, my personal Instagram feed. Back to that point, I recently shared this journal that I just started. Now, I have done this before. This is not a brand new thing in my life. I have utilized you know what? Before we get to the journal, hang on. Stop the recording. No, let's just continue the recording because I want to show you something. As we get into talking about this stamp set, I just wanted to share with you a couple of projects that I have made already. And so this is obviously pretty straightforward with that compass. That's this one right here, right? And then I don't know all the names for this, but this is like inside the compass rose. It's the thing that points. And then a little touch of this like little global world kind of look is inside of there, if you can see that. Yeah, you can kind of see that a little bit. Then I utilized the arrows for my north, south, east, west, but I only marked with the north and the south. Then what I did is I grabbed I believe it is called Spring Florals. As I say that is not correct. It's this set right here. It'll be down below. Okay, so this has been around for a little while. It's still available, but I just went and I added in some layering of some florals. I think that is so fun, and I guess I'm just here for the florals, right? So that has one project that I have done so far. Another one that I have posted, I used some Vicky Bouton Foundations paper, and I did some collage work here on the side. This is just so much of a great stamp set for this kind of collage work, and then right here as well, with just a little bit, with that whole kind of heavy here, light here, and then use some of, I think it's the market icon. I'm just not getting these stamp names straight right now. Forgive me. That's why we have a description box. And so just wrote True North, because I just think that's something we need to keep our mind on, is what we're focused on, True North. And so this was just like a little art piece that I made for myself. I have another stamp around here somewhere, or tag around here somewhere, and it is just clearly behooving me. But in the meantime, what I will show you is my journal. Now, I've done this before, where I've taken a journal and I've just played with stamps inside of it. Because I don't like just having scrap papers of stamped, it's easy enough to grab some copy paper and just play, and that's fun and that's good. I like to keep it. I like to have it in an organized space. I like to go back and refer to it. Now, something that I think we all can relate to is when we have a stamp set and when we have it open up, it's upside down and we're not seeing we can tell like what some of these are, but when it's maybe words, we don't always know exactly what the words are because it's upside down and it's underneath, and it's backwards. It's upside down. It's not upside down, but it's backwards. Okay, so what I've started doing is just kind of as best as I could, I stamped this in the same sequence, the same order that it is found on the stamp sheet. And I have actually used this and referred to this because it's just really cool. Sometimes you won't use a stamp because you just haven't used it. And then when you use it, you're like, oh no, that's really cool. And I discovered that over and over again. I would stamp, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I mean, just like even the, this northeast, southwest, just even that like old school font thing going on. Yeah, that was so cool. But then it was good to see how small these guys were next to that, which I've used those. I have used those now since, just because of that reason, because I knew, well, those guys are really tiny. They're actually going to fit inside of here. And sure enough, they did. I don't know if I have. Yeah, I have a sample in here of that. Okay, so this was like, I guess you could call this a stamp sampler. So that's my stamp sampler. So then what I did was I just played around with some ideas and just went to stamping. Now, at this point, I wasn't worried about color. I wasn't trying to come up with palettes. I do that, but not in this instance. This was the weekend. I was hanging out with my granddaughter, and while she napped, I just pulled this book out, and I believe this is Faded Jeans. It's a great nautical color, actually. And I just played and add stuff. So another page is like even the simplicity of, now these two are from the set sale. No, this is all three is from the set sale. I take that back. This is all three is from the set sale. But even though it wasn't the Stamp Society, it doesn't matter. There's no rules what actually goes on my pages. And so it was cool. Like, oh, that's kind of a fun way. I liked how you had the waves here, but you had this little open space, right? And like Ocean Lover just kind of sat right inside there. Could have probably actually come a little bit lower. But those are the things that you discover and unpack when you play with your stamps. It doesn't matter if it's Stamp Society, Heidi Swapp Stamps, or Stampers Anonymous. These tips and things that I'm sharing with you are not exclusive to Heidi Swapp Stamps. I'm just showcasing Heidi Swapp Stamps today because I'm in love with this set. Okay, so now again, I tried something. I haven't done this yet. If you do follow Heidi Swapp and you saw that she took this and she cut the outer ring out. I haven't done that yet, but boy, am I tempted, because what I did here is I used that outer ring, but I had it masked inside, and I wasn't using my stamp platform because it's not really conducive to use a stamp platform with your journal. So it ended up that I didn't have a great impression, but it was okay, right? It wasn't perfect. But this isn't about perfection. This is about discovery. And so that was okay. But I was just showing you that's where that circle came from. And then I did some like that radar stamp image inside. And then whatever this compass rose needle is. I have the north, south, east, west. And then I did several of the arrows, because those arrows in this kit are so good. Those arrows will live forever. I think we'll be reaching for those arrows no matter what. They're just fantastic. Arrow down here. With what there's several of these, well, there's two of these dotted circles. Can you see that? There's a smaller solid circle. Then there's like, I don't even know what you call that, but it's got like these dots on it. Super cool. So I used one of the circles there. I didn't love how my vine went again from the spring something that I can't remember stamp set. I didn't love exactly. I think I would mask this and get that up closer, which you'll see I did another time. But then this was kind of fun, bringing in some of the set sail with the wave and the definition, and then just playing with the arrows. See, there's no compass in sight, but the arrows just work. And then using that little circle thing for like the water to kind of go inside of it. These are the things you discover when you just play. And if you're keeping them in a journal, and this is just from Walmart, this is not a fancy journal. It's interesting paper though. It has a bit of a texture to it. I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to stamp on it, but as you can see, the oxide, the Distress Oxide actually stamps on here fairly well. So again, no complaints with that. Okay, I'm in love with this image. So again, with that larger outer, here, let me do this. I keep fuddling with this. Fuddling? Yeah, I'm fuddling here. This is this, okay? And then of course this compass rose directional, not that one, this one here. Compass rose directional is inside of here. And then at this point, I then did create a mask for, and I think we'll play this one out today so you can see how this worked out. And I will use my stamp platform. But I created a mask, and then I came in here with this guy, and I went around the edges. Again, not perfect, but I just loved like this extra element that it shared with that. And then again, with those florals and florals here, with the arrows coming out. It's actually a relatively basic stamp design. And then a beautiful thing is never perfect, which I just love that quote. I'll be using that over and over again. So raise your hand if you'd like me to process this one out, because I think I'll do this one for you guys today. And then just a lot of elements. This is just elements. And here I masked some things off. So I don't know if you can tell, but inside is the, inside is the radar. This is what I mean by radar. Inside's the radar. But I had used some mint tape and masked it off. So I just did half of it. Because this other half is the clock. So there's the clock. And that's out here. And then the globe. It's the world. That's not the globe. I wouldn't call that the globe, actually. The world map is right across it. And this would be great with different colored stamps, right? Or inks, rather, because then you're going to just get this whole other effect. And then arrow. I don't think that's an arrow. It's more like a nautical symbol. I don't know what else to call it. But that's there with that odd round dotted thing. A dotted circle with a little element inside. I used Just Breathe from Set Sail, and then another end of an arrow, top of an arrow, that circle thing again, and 2 arrows, and the same arrows are pointing out, and that's all that is. And the plane. And I know I'm saying that's all that is. That's a lot, but it's from the same stamp set, except for the Just Breathe. It's the same color. So you're going to get a lot of mileage on a tag, on a graduation card, on a scrapbook page with something like that. And then this too, Lindsay actually did something really similar. She's got so much element. So if you don't follow Lindsay Bateman on Instagram, you should. But I had done this too. And then I have a reel that should maybe at this point be posted as well that does something similar to this. But I did have a lot of fun. You can see I masked it again. I had fun masking. I really did. That's like old school stamping in my mind's eye. But I did have fun with that. So this is the one that I have reeled out, and it should be on my Instagram coming to you soon if it's not out there already. So this is the part of the show where we're going to process out this tag. And mostly from start to end, I did add a couple things. Actually, you're going to see a second version at the very end because a couple things didn't go like I'd want them to. Because, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. So stamping the outer part of that compass with Victorian velvet. And I really appreciated this palette. It was a lot of fun to work with. I think I'm going to play with it a little bit more. So then the compass rose is going inside. I believe I'm using, yes, Tattered Rose to make that happen. I am using my stamp platform because I just wanted precision. It's still not going to be perfect. And I'll explain that in a minute here. So I have grabbed the pumice stone, and I actually ended up using this color a whole lot later on with this palette. I have created a mask already for that compass, and my screen is going bouncy there. And I have just a little bit of adhesive in the middle, but it's starting to wear out a bit. So I have grabbed from the Spring Flowers that sort of vine floral. And my intention was to do just that, just kind of create this vine effect going up this arrow. It ended up being a little more bushy, but I'm telling you, we're just going to hang on to the whole, it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful, because it was not perfect. But that's okay. We're playing, and I am here for the play, and I'm here for just exploring what the stamp set is bringing to the tag. So finishing up, I believe, in Saltwater Taffy, the vine, and then I brought this pumice stone back out to add my north and then my south. And that's all I added. I didn't add an east or a west this time. I mean, it's whatever. You could have. Because the main reason was, you're going to see now utilizing the mask to create that floral effect from coming out from underneath. So I discovered I was a little frustrated putting this tag together, actually, because I kept getting my placement not where I wanted it to be. So I'm just letting you watch my fuddling, because what I realized is when I'm actually organically just in the throes of play, I'm a lot closer to my tag than I am when I'm recording. And so that's why I went back and I redid this tag, because I need to just make this look a little cleaner. And that's just because of the distance between me and the tag. That's all. I used Lost Shadow on that stamp from Set Sail, but it really is a little too light. And I came back later and used pumice stone, and pumice stone just set it off so well. Again, a whole reason for playing, right? Because you might have in your mind's eye that a color is going to work, and then it doesn't. So play with color. The little vines are coming out from the sides. You can see I'm coming back over here and kind of connecting that a little bit. And it worked out okay. It was okay. But you get the idea of how this came together and how fun it can be to then mask an element with these stamps and create the effect that something is coming out from behind it. So that was a lot of fun. It's super old school for me to do the masking, but I'm here for it. It was great. So I'm adding the A Beautiful Thing Does Not Have to Be Perfect. That is the theme of this video today, which I thank you so much for watching. I do hope you found some value in what I shared today for when you get your Stamp Society, or maybe even thinking about getting a Stamp Society, or for whatever stamp set you are working with. Maybe there's some techniques here you can try as well. All supplies should be linked in the description. I would love a thumbs up if you found some value here, and I'll see you in the next video.